going to kind of go over our business plan and those things kind of quickly, and then I'm going to talk about, the 8 things to focus on in 2021 to really dominate your area. And let's face it, 2020 has been a doozy. I think we can say that, right? I just did my first live event in God knows how long, and oh my God, was it amazing just to be normal, just to see human beings, just to have that live interaction. And so I can't wait till we get back to that. I know slowly but surely we're starting to get there. But it was amazing. 2020 has been different. I've been telling everybody everywhere I go that, we're in the same traffic but different lanes. If you've ever been in traffic, and that's what's weird about it, is that, I do these things for companies all over the world. And generally when you're doing them, you have to kind of know each marketplace and how they do business, which is different than, another place. And this is one of those things that's really kind of united us in the sense that everybody's kind of going through the same thing. Like it didn't pick one country and not another, right? And so I always say, hey, we're in the same traffic, but we're in different lanes. If you've ever been in traffic and one lane is moving faster than the other and your spouse is going, hey, get in that lane and, get out of this lane. And, that's kind of what it's like right now. And so for me, there's really 2 ways you can look at 2020. I'm not going to be one of these people that's like, oh, 2020 was awesome. Like this was just, one of those. But when we look at 2020, there's 2 ways we can look at it. We can get down about everything that went unplanned and, things that we literally had no control over. Or we can kind of appreciate the new muscles and the resilience that were created that, quite frankly, we never would have had. I said this to the group I was with last week, and I really mean this. Like, what the heck is going to happen in the future that you're not going to be prepared for? What is going to happen that is going to throw you off? Like, probably not too many things because 2020 was such a doozy, okay? When you start looking at a new year, it's interesting because you have an opportunity to create a new beginning, right? People get motivated when you go into the new year. They get motivated to do things they never would have done before. It creates new hope. It's a chance to redefine ourselves. It's a chance to redo things. It's a chance to, kind of define like what our future is going to hold. It's a promising time, right? It's like your first day in a new high school. If you move to a new place where you get to decide who you're going to be, right? And so I'd like all of you to kind of think about it a second and just decide right now, like, who are you going to be in 2021? What is your business going to look like different in 2021 than it did in 2020? What did you set for yourself in this year that you let go of or that fell apart, that that you've got to use this time to motivate yourself to recommit to it? What is 2021 going to look like? What will you provide for yourself? What will you provide for your family in 2021 different than you did in 2020? The truth of the matter is that's completely up to you. And I sincerely mean that. That's completely up to you. Okay. And it's interesting because most of you watching me, all of you almost that are watching me are entrepreneurial, but a lot of you are in the real estate industry. And, when I look at it, it's interesting because we're so lucky to do what it is that we do for a living, and yet so many of us are wasting it. We're squandering the opportunity because we're not staying disciplined. We're not keeping a schedule. We're not very specific with what we want to do, and so we're squandering that amazing opportunity. I've said this many times, and I'll keep saying it. You never get what you want out of anything. You get what it is that you're committed to and you plan for, okay? So you can want things all day long, but you don't get what you want. You get what you're committed to and that you plan for, okay? And so what that means is that ultimately we have to know what it is that we're going after. We have to get specific about what it will take. We can't just want that result and not understand the process ultimately that it's going to take. I'm a big believer, and again, I've said this all over the world, that I always believe that there's 2 businesses that you're in. There's always 2 businesses that you're working in, okay? There's the business that you're in and the business that you're going to be in, okay? That's very important. I want to make sure we all understand that because I think a lot of us just work on the business we're in and we're not prepared for what's coming. When there's been such drastic changes in the marketplace and such drastic changes amongst our consumers. I've been saying to a lot of people lately that, I think there's a ton of opportunity in whatever market you're in, but it's not for everyone. We are not entering into a market right now where you can just kind of sit back and hope things happen and, work on, just letting people call you. And there's a ton of opportunity, but it's only going to be for those that actually go out and get it. They get very specific about what those strategies are and they stay consistent to it. And they do the things, quite frankly, that other people don't want to do. And they make themselves uncomfortable because there's two businesses you're always in. Remember, I just said this, the business that you're in and the business that you're going to be in, right? That's what it looks like. Why do you think I spent years while building our coaching and training company, also building software and building a CRM and building a marketing department and building, because I knew where we needed to go and what kind of services we needed to offer to people to be that one-stop shop for them. And so I'm not just telling you what it is you should be focused on. This is how I act. This is what I do every day, okay? So there's two that you're in. There's always two businesses you're working in, the one that you're actually in and the one that you're going to be in, okay? And once you understand this, then ultimately you start to understand that real estate, if you're watching me and you're in real estate right now, real estate is about two things. It's about leads and it's about leverage, okay? It's about having an overflow of leads and the leverage to be able to actually work them and be able, whenever I talk to someone and they say, oh man, I've got too many leads coming in. There's no such thing as too many leads, okay? There's only too few people managing them, okay? That's leverage. That's when you start to get out of this solopreneur mindset and you start to realize that, I want to run a business. If you follow me regularly, you know that I've been saying for years that the idea that we all have the same number of hours in a day is a lie. It's not true. We don't have the same 24 hours as Elon Musk, okay? We have the number of hours that we create according to the infrastructure that we implement, okay? So if I have 50 people that work for me, I've got 1,200 hours to your 24. And this is the mentality that we have to be thinking from when we start looking at the new year and saying, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I want it to look like. This is what I want to accomplish. This is what, when we start to talk like that and think like that and say things like that, we've got to actually, our actions have to actually equal that, okay? And so one of the things I want you guys to see, and Tom, if you could show my screen a second here. This is here for you guys. I told you guys I'm going to give you a lot of free stuff. This is an example of some of the free stuff I'm going to give you. In our coaching, we get very specific about the stages of growth. And so if somebody is on my team is in the chat right now, if you can type in www.jaredjamestoday.com/7 stages, okay? If you take a look at that there, jaredjamestoday.com/7 stages, these are the 7 stages that we work people through, okay? And at different levels. When you're planning for a new year, you need to understand what season you're in. Everybody's in a different season. You can get different things done based on that season that you're in. And so this will break it down for you, and it'll not only allow you to download it for free, but it shows you in the beginning, stage 1 is support. Every single person that's listening to my voice right now that's in real estate needs to have a transaction coordinator. Okay, it's not an accident that I started as part of Jarja Media a transaction coordination department. It's not chicken or the egg. I did it because I know how valuable it is and how much it's needed today, and I wanted to have control over it so we could make it better and better and better. So this shows you transaction coordination, then an admin, here's what the team leader's doing, and it shows you what their disc profiles should be. So you know who makes a good admin, who makes a good transaction coordinator. It also talks about what their roles are early on. And then we move on to the various stages. And so I'm not going to cover all these stages now, but what you need to do is you need to start to look at this. And you need to start to ask yourself, like, what stage do I need to build to? Some of you need to get to stage 1, right? Some of you need to get to stage 5. You're on 3 right now and you need to get to 5. This is what we do with our coaches, with so many of our students, is we work them towards and we keep them on track. We build that blueprint to what it's going to be like to get them to the stage that ultimately they need to be getting to, okay? And so I want all of you to check this out. This is Jared James Today. You can stop screen sharing now. This is jaredjamestoday.com/7 stages. You can download those 100% free, and I think all of you need to take advantage of that and start looking towards 2021 and saying, okay, Where is it I need to build towards? What is it? I'm stuck in this. I'm just running a rat race. I'm just running around every day, but ultimately I want to run a business, not just run around. What stage do I need to work towards? Because when you know what you're working towards, now your decisions start to filter through that prism of, okay, where am I heading to? Your decisions now are not just, well, that's a good thing, or that's a good thing, or does this get me closer to where it is that I need to be? That's ultimately how we need to be thinking, okay? So take a look at that, guys. That's your first free thing. Actually, I already told you guys, go like, comment, and follow on Instagram, and we'll give you a free transaction on there. So that is, we're going to pick someone to do a free transaction. So that is the first thing, but there's going to be a lot of free stuff today, okay? So let's talk about the 8 things that I want you guys to commit to for 2021. 8 things, okay? First one, from a business planning standpoint, we gotta get this out of the way right away, because it's one of the things that matters almost more than anything, is that we need to get clear on our benchmarks, okay? So if you can show my screen again, Tom, I would appreciate that. We need to get clear on our benchmarks and what that actually means. I'm a big believer that you either assess where you are now or you regret where you end later. You know, if you remember, I did a financial training with so many of you about a month ago, and I appreciate all of the positive comments that came from you guys. You know, that you guys loved the idea. We were focused on something that was so practical and so needed. And I talked a lot in there about knowing your finances and understanding, like, every morning, what does it mean? What's coming in? What's going out? Your profit loss. And I talked about what softwares to get hooked up to help you out. But our business is no different. You know, some of you need to remember that line. You assess where you are now, or you regret where you end later, okay? It's never the result that you see that actually matters in almost anything, okay? I want you to remember that. Like, that's an average mentality when you just look at what the result is, but not what it takes to get there. It's what happened beforehand that created the result. That's ultimately what matters. Think of it like this, to just break it down really simple. It's not the game that matters, it's the practice. My apologies to Allen Iverson. Some of you will get that. You know, we're talking about practice. But it's not the game, it's the practice. The game is what you see when people are doing what it is that they learn to do, that they created muscle memory in with practice, okay? It's never what you actually see. It's what came before it. I have a quote that I use that really applies to this time of the year, where I say, hey, if you focus on results, you'll get frustration. But if you focus on process, you'll get results, okay? And some of these quotes that I'm using, they're in our business plan. They're in the slides that I'm going to give you guys. And we made them in a way that you can print them out. You can download them, put them on, make them the wallpaper on your computer. You can print them out and put them at your desk. You can, whatever it is that's going to keep you focused. If you focus on results, you'll get frustration. But if you focus on process, you'll get results. Fall in love with the process, not the result. And ultimately, what happens? You end up getting the result, the thing that you actually wanted. So what you're looking at right here is our business plan, not our digital plan, but our business plan, okay? And all of you can download our business plan and our digital plan. Don't go do it right now, but again, somebody on my team, if they would put this in the chat, it's a very easy place. You just go to jaredjamestoday.com. That's our website, jaredjamestoday.com/download. Really easy. jaredjamestoday.com/download. They're available there. You got to put in a little bit of information, and you're going to get these for free, okay? This particular business plan right here, when you look at it, this is going to break down for you. It's got some of those quotes in there. This is something I posted on Instagram yesterday. It's difficult to maintain and stay consistent to what you're committed to, but it's even more difficult to start all over again. Choose the right difficult, right? Just giving you some stuff to kind of keep you motivated. This is really important here. Your 2020 recap. This is putting 2 pages next to each other. But these numbers that you're going to spend the time to go over, not right now. You could download this at the end and work on it now with your coach or on your own in the next few days here. These numbers, a lot of them are going to transfer over to our digital plan that's going to give us our real numbers, okay? So you're going to want to go through here, do the boring work of figuring out the numbers, the answers to these questions, okay? So take a look at that. You're going to want to do the same thing on these next 2 pages. When Darren and I were at the Advance, Darren Dawson, the founder of BombBomb, we were talking about understanding who your ideal customer is. Because if you don't understand who your ideal customer is, then you're just throwing marketing out into the wind. You've got to know how to market to them. You've got to know who they are. You've got to know who they hang out with. You've got to know what networking places to go to. You need to know which ones to stop going to. But none of that happens if you don't fully understand who is your ideal customer. What do they look like? So this is going to take you through that, okay? Just some more quotes for you, some more stuff for you to look at. Then there's a part here that talks about what am I committed to? What are my 4 best uses of time? What's the number one reason I've lost transactions? What are the positive and negative consequences on following through with the things that ultimately matter to me? Like, these are the things that we want to start to focus on because they tune us into what matters. How many times have you guys heard me say, don't be too busy to ultimately be productive? And that's really what I'm kind of talking about right now, is don't be too busy to be productive, okay? You're also going to find in this business plan, we're giving this to you for free, a social audit. So this is going to give you the ability with the places we think matter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, these places, they're going to have check boxes here for you to do your own social audit and say, am I up to par on these places? Do I have these things filled out? Am I posting this often? Am I putting these kinds of posts up? And so this will give you a little bit of a social audit to say, hey, this is what I need to be doing, okay? If you're not good enough to do it yourself and you need some help on social, you'll see at the bottom there that you can reach out to Jarja Media at jarjamedia.com and they'll help you out with that. But we need to get our social in order, okay? It's important. We don't take that screen share off there. It's important, guys. Social matters. All of these things matter, okay? Social matters because it allows us to be direct to consumer. Look how much I do with social. Think about you guys right now. How many of you are here right now because you saw my post on Instagram, or you saw my stories on Instagram, or you saw something like that? It's a lot of you, and you have that same advantage. We can go back to screen share there, Tom. You guys have that same advantage. So don't just listen to what I'm saying, do what I'm actually doing, okay? Now, the other thing you're going to get at jaredjamestoday.com/download is you're going to get the digital plan, okay? And this digital plan is extremely important. And what you'll notice is everywhere that's bolded red, you need to fill in. This is where you're going to pull your numbers from that other sheet. And it's going to give you something that really matters. So let's just, for an example, say that you want to do $250,000 in the next, in 2021. And our average commission was $6,000. Let's just call it that, okay? It's telling us that we need to do 42 transactions in order to hit that goal, right? So pulling my numbers from that other sheet that I filled out, I'm just making numbers up right now, guys, just so you know. Let's say that I did 25 listing appointments and I listed, we'll say 16 of them, and I sold, we'll call it 13 of them, okay? In the last year. Okay, some of you might need to take average numbers if you're brand new. Talk to your broker, take average numbers. But for most of you, you should be able to do this, okay? So this year, if I know that I need 42 transactions, I'm going to up it a little bit this year, and I'm going to say out of those 42, I would like 30 of them to be listings, okay? So that's letting me know I need 58 listing appointments. So now buyers, let's do the same thing. Let's say that I did, in the last year, 25 buyer appointments. Let's say I worked with 16 of them and I sold homes to 13 of them. Again, giving us a closing percentage of 52%. Well, how many houses do I want to sell through buyers this year? Well, if I did 30 listings and I need 42 total transactions, that leaves me with 12 buyers to work with to hit my goal, okay? So it's letting me know that I need 23 buyer appointments. Now this over here, how many weeks do you plan to work? Take out vacation, those things. I'll keep it simple and just call it 50 weeks. You might be 48, you might be 52. You got to put your number in for you. But this is what's going to give us the numbers that matter. Now I don't care if you did this last year with us, if you did this. This is something that needs to be done every single year according to yourself, your team, your brokerage, whatever it is, we've got to know our numbers. And so I'm not someone who likes big, long, elaborate business plans because the truth is you're never going to look at them. Let's be honest. You're never going to look at a 15-page business plan again. This is just helping us narrow down, and it's showing us what ultimately matters, okay? The lead measures, the lag measures. The lead measures in this case are the appointments. Appointments equal transactions, okay? But even before that, if you notice here, this is telling you how many conversations you need. we know that it takes 41 real estate related conversations to create one transaction. So when you look at our, the 7 non-negotiables we always talk about, the 7 non-negotiables for an agent, again, you can go download those. If you go into our group on Facebook, Jared James Coaching, go into the files or just type into the search, 7 non-negotiables. It goes over those 7 non-negotiables. One of those non-negotiables is 10 new conversations every day. But here's the beauty of this. This is telling you that in order to hit your goal of 42 transactions, which will hit $250,000, you need 34 new conversations a week based on 41 per new transaction. So now you know that if you're going to work 5 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever it is, let's say it's 6 days a week, you need to create about 6 different new conversations a day. So this is giving you what that is, okay? This is also telling you, and this is the gold of this, this is what really matters, is that, hey, in order for me to do 42 transactions and make $250,000, and again, you're going to adjust for yourself. Some of you are doing 400 transactions. Some of you are doing 20. Adjust for yourself. This right here is what matters. It's telling me to hit my listing appointment goal. I need 1.15 listing appointment a week, and I need 0.46, half of a buyer appointment. We're going to round that up and call it 2 appointments a week, okay? 2 appointments a week. Tom, if you can come back to me, that would be fantastic. So 2 appointments a week. I want you guys to really think about that for a second, because I think sometimes we get a little bit overwhelmed by the idea of how many that seems like, and it seems overbearing, and it seems, but then when we break it down to just the absolute ridiculous, we notice, oh shoot, 2 a week? Like, that's absurd. That's how could you not do 2 appointments a week? When you look at how much you're doing every week, most of you, the issue is not how often you're working or how much you're working. For a lot of you, you're working too much, right? But what this does is it breaks it down, and it shows us in many cases how unproductive some of the activities we're doing are. I mean, literally, if you get to 2 appointments a week, and what this really tells us too is not only what you need to do to work, but it also tells you when you're done working, right? A lot of us are stressed out and everything because we don't know when we're done. So we just keep going and going and going, answering phones. But you might be done Tuesday at 11 a.m. because you just set your second appointment, right? It lets you know I'm on track. When you ask the average agent, hey, where are you at for the year? They're like, I'm at about means we don't know. That's what it means, right? But so now this breaks it down, and forget about all the other numbers and all the other stuff. This is what we need to focus on. I need 2 appointments a week or whatever yours are. So now that dictates what goes on my schedule. That dictates the type of calls and prospecting I'm doing. That dictates the type of reaching out I'm doing to my database. That dictates the kind of networking I'm doing. That dictates the type of marketing that gets done, because I need 2 appointments. Now I've got something solid that lets me know that I'm on track, and that's why that is so important. That's the boring part of business planning that, quite frankly, for so many of you, is going to be the thing that absolutely changes your business, okay? The next thing I want to show you guys here, let me pull this up here, and Tom, if you could show my screen again, that would be awesome. Tom's doing a great job, isn't he? If we just put some claps in the comments there, he's doing a great job on there. The second thing that I want everybody focused on right now is we have to have a plan for post-transaction, okay? I can't stress this enough. A plan for post-transaction, meaning after the transaction closes. I want you to look at something that I think is really important, and I've been showing this for the past year all over the world, right? Our industry, for the first time ever, is involved with funding from Silicon Valley, venture capital funds, because they look at our industry as the next one that can be disrupted, okay? They look at our industry and they say, why are agents needed? Agents aren't needed. And you look at the amount of money they've put in. They've put $51 million into search. They put $500 million into the brokerage side of the business. They put $2 billion, billion with a B, into iBuyers. They put $1.5 billion into mortgages. They put $265 million into ancillary services. They put $124 million into agent tools, $95 million into other, and then there's this little zero right here. What is this zero? Okay, this zero is post-purchase. Okay, post-purchase. And just when we want to get on them and be like, what are you doing? $0 in post-purchase. They probably learned that by watching us. That a lot of us don't fully understand that the transaction doesn't stop at the closing. It starts at the closing. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The transaction doesn't stop at the closing. It absolutely starts at the closing, especially when you figure this number right here. You know, the average, they did a study and they found that the average lifetime value of a client is $117,000. Like $117,000, guys, think about that. How many of you would treat your clients different if they were walking around with a big $117,000 sign above their head? I bet a lot of you would treat them different. Tom, if you can come back to me, that'd be awesome. So we've got to have a plan for post-purchase, okay, post-purchase. So when we're talking about that, let's take a look here. Actually, I'm going to show you guys something on the slide again. Give me 1 second here, Tom, because I think you guys are going to enjoy this one a little bit. And this one is absolutely crucial, okay? Tom, if you can come back to my screen, that'd be awesome. I talked about this at the advance. We just had the advance. A lot of you attended. Thank you. You can still get the replay. It's available for a year, all of the recordings. But I did a session on there with Darren Dawson from BombBomb. And I talked to him more as a SaaS company over, SaaS, software as a service, like technology, reoccurring revenue, that kind of a thing. And we were talking about this right here. And again, I'm going to put all of these slides in our Facebook group, Jared James Coaching. You guys can go look at this. But this is the traditional funnel. You may not be paying attention to this, but this is how your business works. This is how lead conversion works. This is how new business works. Basically, there's a funnel. And there's a top of the funnel and there's a bottom of the funnel. And it goes from awareness down to purchase. And the further down you can get people down the funnel, the better, the easier the chance is to close them, right? So people in your database, past customers, they're in the bottom of the funnel. Leads online and those things are at the top of the funnel, and then you got to work them down. You got to nurture them. You got to do those things. And this is the traditional funnel that we think of. But what I'm telling you, and this is what he and I talked about, is that the funnel is changing. Okay, and it's changing quickly. And it's changing because of the value people have after the closing, okay? And so what this funnel basically says, this Bowtie funnel, is essentially what I said before. The closing doesn't stop. I mean, the transaction doesn't stop at the closing. It starts at the closing. The majority of the value when you work with a client is not on the left side of the funnel when we're converting them into a transaction. By far, the majority of the value is on the right side of the funnel. That's where all the value comes from. That's where all of the referrals come from. That's where all of the repeat business comes from. That's where all of the, that's where everything comes from. That's where the majority of the 117,000 comes from, okay? And so if you want to take it off of there again, Tom, just bring it back to me. My question to you is, and I'm going to be asking this all over the world this year, this is going to be one of my main messages when I'm talking to people, is what's your plan post-close? What is your plan? What are you doing on the other side of that funnel? We spend all these marketing dollars, we spend all this stuff to create a lead, and then to convert that lead, we spend all this time, all this whatever. How much are you spending on the other side? You know, in the SaaS world, the software as a service, they say that when you look at the lifetime value of a client, you should be willing to spend up to 25% on that individual client. So I want you to think about that for a second. That means that in real estate, you should be willing to spend up to $30,000 on each individual client since their lifetime value is 117. How many of you, by a show of hands, are spending $30,000 a client right now? I'll wait, right? It's not really happening. It's not how we've traditionally thought about it. And the nice thing is that you probably don't even have to necessarily do that in real estate, right? But the greater question is, what are you doing though? What is your plan post-close, okay? What are you doing to get closer to your database? It's the only way that you're going to survive. Like the two things that matter the most are social media and your database. Why? Because they're direct to consumer. Right? You don't need third parties. You don't need any of these things. You literally hit send or do whatever, and you are right there with them, right? And that's why they matter. And this is where everybody's gotten confused for years. They stay away from social, this fad called social, because I don't need to know that John had chicken for dinner. And you missed it. You missed what it was all about. It's direct to consumer. And you're like, well, you know, they're not my real friends. How many real friends do you have? How many people do you talk to within 2 minutes, you start talking about the weather, right? It's not about them being your real friends. It's about being connected, because we are in a connection business. Your database, the ability to get your content out to them. For those of you that are in our database, right, you get my content. I send you our videos. I send you our new podcast. I send you that stuff, right? You either see it on Instagram, you see it on Facebook, you see it on whatever platform, YouTube, you see it on the podcast, or you get sent it through our database, direct to consumer. Why wouldn't we be doing the same thing? Why would we, instead of always looking at call to action, why aren't we talking about calls to conversation? Why aren't we using email marketing in our business to literally just start a conversation? To come up with some kind of shared observation, as my buddy Dan Stewart says from Happy Grasshopper, some kind of shared observation, we send it out to them, and now the conversation starts. Hey, what's the first restaurant you're going to eat at? Who knew their hair was so gray? What color are you going to dye it when the salon's open? Hey, shared observation, right? Schools are opening. Shared observation. Send it out to your database. Create conversations, because conversations ultimately create closings, right? How much are you, when I say getting closer to your database, closer to your social, how many of you are finally utilizing video? We just had one of our sales guys, Ryan Morozic. I know you're probably watching, Ryan. What's up, man? Missed you this last week, and I know you got together with everybody. But he moved to Boston, and he's actually selling real estate now. And when he was talking to potential brokers that were going to hire him, one of them called me to hear about him, to see if he was somebody they should be hiring. And he told me, he goes, I was so blown away because he made a bomb video and introduced himself and talked to him. And he goes, it just felt like I already knew this kid. Like I felt so different about it, because that's what video does for people. Are you leveraging that? Or are you still afraid of what you look and sound like? Let's make 2021 the year that we got locked up and shut down from everybody, and that we're going to connect with people like never before, because it's what people want right now. It's what people, forget about want, it's what people need right now. So when we talk about what's your plan for post-close, I talked about this at the advance, right, as a way to create business. But like, how many of you have a loyalty program for your past clients? We love loyalty programs. When I just flew to where I was going, and then in December I'm going to California, and I'm going to Mexico, and I'm going to all these different places, I always look up Delta first. Why? Because I have a loyalty program with them, and I want to take advantage of that, because I get rewards and I get perks for being a part of it. Why wouldn't you, with all of your clients, be creating a loyalty program? Right? You want to throw that slide up of the loyalty program there? Thank you, Tom. Like this was there was just a thread in our Facebook group, again, called Jared James Coaching. You guys can go search the thread and look at it, where people were just coming up with ideas. What's going to be in my loyalty program? There's a million different things. You can customize it, but you should have something for your people post-close that, hey, once they're a client, now you have a specific Facebook group for them, and it's only for past clients, and you share specific things only to them in there. You should have something in there where, it gives them a gift card every single year to a restaurant they want to eat at. It's another excuse for you to reach out to them, by the way. Hey, where do you want your gift card this year? Because you're part of my loyalty program. You can offer them babysitting once a year. If you have teenage kids, pawn them out. If not, hire a babysitter. If they don't have kids, don't use that idea. It's a little bit weird. But if they have kids, offer them babysitting once a year on you as part of your loyalty program. You can offer them a yearly value of their home at no cost. You can offer them a tax assessment appeal. When they get those new assessments every year and it's ridiculous and it makes no sense, you can actually offer to go in and do an assessment and appeal for them at the town hall and whatever. Like, you can come off of that now, Tom. Like, the point is, you need to have a loyalty program. All that matters, guys, obviously prior to close matters, but we're ignoring the correct side of the new funnel, the Bowtie funnel, which is post-close. What is your plan for people post-close? I mean, guys, I believe in this so much, I built a CRM. You know what I mean? Like, post-close matters. What's your plan? That's number 2. What is your plan for post-close? Number 3, we need to have a plan for consistent marketing, okay? So in 2021, this is the year that I want you to look up and say, I have a plan for consistent marketing. And I'm going to be very honest with you, that plan probably is not you doing it, okay? I said at the advance, when you guys are doing your marketing on a regular basis on your own, if you're doing it on a regular basis, let's be honest, that's being very kind. That's how, when we see you doing your marketing yourself, when my marketing company, Jarja Media, sees you doing your marketing yourself, you know, that's how you guys feel when you see people try to sell their homes themselves. You shouldn't be doing it, you know, like, and you're like, well, I can't afford marketing. Marketing's so expensive. Look, the only thing more expensive than marketing is being invisible. Okay. I want to say that again, and I want you to hear it. Okay. The only thing more expensive than marketing is being invisible. That's expensive. Being invisible kills your business. Being invisible costs you more money than you'll ever know. Being invisible is not an option in your marketplace, or it shouldn't be an option in your marketplace. And you've got to diversify, guys. If your only source of leads or marketing out there is Zillow, you better start relooking at things, okay? They just hired agents, okay? I don't know if you saw that, okay? But even if they hadn't have signed agents, their whole plan is built around, you know, buying zip codes. We just saw Facebook and Google, due to pressure from HUD, eliminate targeting based on zip codes because it's discriminatory, okay? Now, whether you believe it or not doesn't matter. Once that happened, that means Zillow's next. So if that's your sole way of creating it, you've got to start to look at diversifying and saying, hey, how do I put myself in a position here where I have control over this, okay? One of the ways, by the way, that the easiest way right now to be creating leads, and it's back in a big way, is Facebook. Let's be honest. Facebook was gold for a while, then it fell completely off, and it is back. You know, my marketing company, Jarja Media, is creating for people right now leads on Facebook, and anywhere from 50 cents to $1.20 per lead. Like, that is insane. 50 cents to $1.20 per lead. What would your business look like? How different would it look if you had a consistent flow of leads coming in? And by the way, in our marketing department, you not only get the leads, but then you get our CRM for free. My follow-ups that are built in for free. So now those leads are coming in and they're automatically having a campaign attached to them, and they're being followed up with for 6 months. What would your business look like? How different would it look if you weren't just waiting until you were slow to do stuff, right? If you remember my conversation with Scott Shapiro from Facebook, who's at Facebook in the real estate division, he talked about how much more powerful it is to use an agency to have you doing that rather than, you know, you just trying to do it willy-nilly whenever you get a chance. That's not going to work. I said it earlier. Business is about leads and leverage, okay? What are you doing in those two areas? Leads and leverage. Leads don't just come from places like Facebook and these other places. Ultimately, you've got to make a decision in 2021 to commit to being the most rejected agent in your area. Okay? I'm going to say that again. You need to commit to being the most rejected agent in your area in 2021. If you'll do that, you'll win. Period. We spend our whole lives trying to avoid rejection. And yet the truth of the matter is, when you look at your strategy for leads, your strategy for winning listings and those things, commit to being the most rejected agent. Commit to being the one that everyone hears from, the one that gets said no to the most. Because if you'll do that, you'll win. I just covered at our advance, in our second session at the advance, 15 different ways to create seller leads, right? And a lot of that has to do with getting rejected, but that's just part of it, right? So go pick a couple of those and just commit to being the most rejected person in your area. You got to have a plan, and you got to follow that plan. I did a video. You want free stuff? You didn't pay for the advance. You want free stuff? I did a video on YouTube on our Jared James show called The Best Way to Get Listings Right Now. Okay? If someone wants to pull that up, put the link in the comments, or just go look it up on YouTube. Jared James, The Best Way to Get Listings Right Now. I covered like 6 or 7 or 8 different ways to get listings. This is part of preparing for the new year, is doing new things, okay? The fourth thing I want you focused on in 2021, we need to get really serious about our inner circle. This is a biggie right here, guys. The price of admission to your inner circle in a world that's already so difficult, in a business that is already like a roller coaster so often, the price of admission to your inner circle has got to be more than just the amount of time they've known you or blood relation. Okay? And I know a lot of you are like, well, she's my cousin. Well, you know, this person's, you know, whatever. Like, doesn't matter, guys. None of that matters. You've got to get selective about who's in your inner circle if you're ever going to win. There are people in your inner circle that don't even want to see you do better or see you do things different because it makes them feel bad about themselves, okay? So let's do an audit of our inner circle and get serious about who we're allowing in there, who think alike, that drive us, that think different, that think bigger, that, you know, what are their ideas on finances? Are they always complaining about the man? Like, who is this man? Are they a victim or are they out there making things happen? Who is in your inner circle? The fifth thing that we need to focus on in 2021 is we need to build more capacity, okay? I got asked recently, and I covered this at the advance, they said, like, how do you get so much done? Like, how do you work on, you're running multiple companies and traveling, and you have a family and all these things. And I think there's a misnomer out there that we get more done by learning to juggle more things, and that's just not the case, okay? We get more done, and I get more done by building the capacity to do so. Okay, I gave this example recently, but like when you look an arrow shot from a bow, how far that arrow goes has very little to do with what happens once it's in the air. It's about the capacity you create before the arrow ever leaves the bow. That's what matters. And it's the same thing in our lives. It's not about learning to do more things on a regular basis. When you see me on a regular basis doing #DidYouSweatToday every single day, and you see me trying to eat right every single day, and you see me working on the relationships with the people that are closest to me, and you see me working on the spiritual levels, and you see all of these things, all I'm doing is I'm trying to create more capacity. Because I know that I don't get more hours than someone. I know that I can't just go and hustle. I know also that it's usually has much more to do with what happens with that arrow before it ever leaves the bow. Okay? And it's the same thing with you. What happens with you before you ever even go to do the things that you do? You've got to create capacity, the things that create energy inside of you, the thing that create vibration. Like what are those things? We need to focus on those things and create more capacity in order to get more things done. If you've ever felt like you're running around like crazy and you don't even know, it's about creating capacity. It's about creating leverage. It's about creating people around you to be able to delegate. That's really what it's about. We don't all have the same 24 hours. The sixth thing I want you guys focused on in 2021 is we need to start limiting the voices we listen to, okay? Now, I don't mean this in some cultish, only listen to me type of thing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the good and the bad of the world we live in today is that there's more content than ever before, okay? And the bad about the world we live in is that there's more content than ever before. And because we love to listen to content and do those things, we're listening to way too many competing voices. You'll get one financial guru who's rich that says debt is good, use it to leverage. You'll get another financial guru who's rich that says all debt is bad, all whatever. My question to you is who's right? Okay? They're both right. What you've got to do is you've got to understand the season they're in their life, and does it match the season that you're in your life? It's really that simple, right? Is the information they're giving you helping you or not? And am I listening to too many competing voices? You need to find the voice or voices that speak to you, that when they say something, you go, and you need to go all in on those voices because all of those are true. They're there for a reason. Most gurus are gurus for a reason as long as they've done something with their life. It's not that they're wrong, it's that it's wrong for you. Just because something's right doesn't mean it's right for you. And just because something's wrong doesn't mean it's wrong. You have to look at it and go, who do I relate to? Who speaks to me? Who am I willing to listen to that, get rid of the clutter, get rid of the confusion, and go all in on that person? And that's what we need to do in 2021. The seventh thing I'd like you to focus on in 2021 is that I want you to make your hobby your career. Make your hobby your career. And what do I mean by that? If you're still in this business or any business as a solopreneur, it's a hobby, not a career. Okay? 22 out of 28 million small businesses have exactly 0 employees. Okay? Those aren't businesses. Those are hobbies. I showed you earlier the 7 stages, right? And I said you can get them for free. jaredjamestoday.com/7 stages, right? So when you look at those 7 stages, you got to look at those at bare minimum to go from hobby to a career. Every single one of you should have a TC, a transaction coordinator. There's no risk. I've been yelling this from the mountaintop now for how long? Every one of you needs to have a transaction coordinator. There's absolutely no risk. You only pay when they close. If you do more transactions, you're paying more at that time. If you slow down, you're paying nothing. There's absolutely no risk. There's no reason you should be dealing with the paperwork and all of the various steps. I think our TC told us lately there's like 60-something steps on the workflow that they're doing. That is not your best use of time. You need to be out there creating new business, working with people, shaking hands, kissing babies, being the business, building the business, not behind the scenes doing the things that don't even fit your personality. What makes you great at being an agent is what makes you suck at managing the transaction, okay? So let's go from having a hobby to having a career. So TC, eventually getting that admin, so eventually getting those buyer's agents, eventually pick the stage that you need to go to, and let's turn this into a career, not a hobby. That needs to be our goal in 2021. And the 8th thing I'm going to cover with you, and then I've got some other stuff that I want to cover as some bonus material, is get a coach. Like, look, guys, many of you have been with me for years, and you've never heard me cover this on one of these trainings. But I'm just at the point where I see so many people that we've helped, and even people who don't work with us when they're with another coaching company, and I see what happens with them, and I see the drastic changes, and I see the accountability that comes in and the follow-through on the plan and what someone actually wanted to do that year. And it breaks my heart, the people who don't get to be those testimonials, right? Like the greatest people in the world, the greatest athletes, they have coaches, right? Who are there to see things from a different perspective and hold them accountable. And I'm just at the point right now where, my God, we just came off of our advance, and I watch these testimonials, and I interview some of the people in our program, and I'm just like, my God, look at how far you've come, right? If you can put that slide up there a second. This is one, I had just done an interview with Cassie Dunn, right? Cassie, a lot of you have heard of her. She's one of my absolute favorites. She's just absolutely amazing, right? And Cassie was actually at the last advance. She was there virtually, but she was somebody who I had interviewed specifically about what's going on in her business. And I asked her afterwards if she would put together a little testimonial to kind of talk, because I think it speaks to so many people, right? And we've got people that are, top teams, top brokerages, and then we've got people who are coming up, right? And so she wrote this, and I think it's absolutely amazing, and I wanted all of you to hear it. She said, when I started in Jared James Coaching in 2018, 2 years ago, guys, I was straight out of having my previous business fall apart, had no money in the bank, was in debt, and knew that I needed real estate to work out so I could provide for my family the way I wanted to. My goal in year one was to make $75K. Nothing huge, guys. Small average price point. And I ended up making $67K, which she was thrilled about. It proved I belonged in this industry. In 2020, I set a goal to make $150K. This was during COVID this year, and become financially free. So far, with the help of my Jared James coach and my transaction coordinator from Jarja Media, I'm not only hitting my goal, I'm smashing it. We determined that I would need to do 33 transactions and a little over $5 million in sales volume, which again is more for her because she doesn't have a very high price point. Well, it's October, and I've already done almost 50 transactions, and I'm closing in on $10 million in sales volume. More importantly, we worked on finances and budget, one of the first things we do with people in the program, and I've saved over $120,000 in my bank account. To those of you who think coaching isn't for you and you can do it on your own, I highly encourage you to take the leap and get a coach. I wouldn't be where I am today without my coach, and can't thank them enough. Signing up for coaching with Jared James was one of the best decisions I ever made, okay? I think that's absolutely awesome. It makes my day when I hear that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of you have got to start taking advantage of that and stop just reading these testimonials from people, and ultimately, get to a point where it's like, I'm going to be the next testimonial. Like, I'm going to be the one who's actually getting to do this, okay? So I've got some stuff that I want to cover here with you guys, some more pointers, but I want to say to all of you watching that want to take advantage of that, you want to talk to someone about a coach, you want to look at signing up and getting a CRM started, you want to get your TC, your transaction coordinator set up, or at least talk to them and see what that looks like. You want to talk to a marketer, and see if that's right for you, to have somebody consistently creating leads for you. We've set up a really easy link. If somebody on my team can put it in the comments, it's just jaredjamestoday.com/20 2020 offers with an S on the end. jaredjamestoday.com /, 2020 offers, 2020 offers, OFFERS. It's all there for you guys, consults, the whole thing. Make sure you guys check that out, okay? Now, and I think a lot of you, by the way, need to almost like take advantage of your own emotion and say, this is the year, I'm going to get accountability, I'm going to get leads created, I'm going to have a TC, I'm going to build my business. This is the year I'm going to get my CRM set up. This is the year that you ultimately want to do that, okay? I'm a big believer, guys, that making mistakes is better than faking perfection. That struggling is better than being stagnant. Stagnancy doesn't get you anywhere. You know, if you aren't uncomfortable, if you're not losing, you're not stretching yourself enough. I said this at the event I was at the other day, like being an entrepreneur is being a full-time loser. Like it is. You lose all the time, but ultimately your wins are bigger if you're following the right plan. That's what we sign up for. That's what we look for. I mean, that's the essence of being an entrepreneur, because nobody gets into real estate to be average. You know, you didn't say, hey, I'm an average person. It's either this or the DMV. Like, that's not how this works, right? You didn't get into real estate to ultimately create this career and then only end up making another job for yourself, which is what some of us have done. It's not about having a job. It's about building a business. It's about building that career. But we have to remember how cyclical this business is. What you do right now shows up in quarter 1. And when so many are sitting back and waiting and they're like, in 2021, I'm going to go get it. Once the election's done, I'm going to go get it. No, it's now. It's while everybody else is sitting back. Now's the time, right? It's cyclical. Setting up your business, getting your system set up, getting your TC set up, getting your leads start to come in, getting going with your coach, going over your finances. It starts now. That's why we do this. By the way, that's why we do this training now. I used to make the mistake of doing it in January, and that was a mistake. But now we do it now because this is when you've got to start in order to see the results in 2021. We ultimately have to decide what's acceptable to us. You know, what is it that we're ultimately after? And then you've got to build an environment around you that supports that. That environment means everything. That's why I talked about the inner circle and those things. The people, the voices you listen to, the patterns you follow. We've got to create an ecosystem that supports our goal. You know, we can't start on a diet and then all of a sudden, you know, have all sorts of snack foods and everything all over the house, because what's going to happen, right? And at the same time, you can't create business goals and then create no accountability around yourself that keeps you on path when you don't feel like it anymore, when the motivation leaves you, because that's what really matters. What do you do when the motivation leaves you? So for those of you that are in our program, you need to get with your coach now. You need to build your business plan. You got to build your digital plan. Figure out your number of appointments. Figure out what you need to put in place to start building towards the stage that you want to build towards. And for those of you that aren't in the program now, you need to go to jaredjamestoday.com / 2020 offers. And you need to get on that path of getting help and accountability and the right software in place and put yourself in a position to win in 2021. Because look, I've built my whole life is built around the idea of providing you the things that you need, helping you, you know, close that potential gap. But ultimately, it's up to you to take advantage of it, okay? So I'd highly recommend you guys do that. Before I get into Q&A, you guys can start putting questions in there. I'm going to start looking at them now. And by the way, a lot of our coaches are coached by our coaches. Like, that's how important it is, okay? So take a look at that, guys. Again, couple things. If you're for my team that's on here, let's post these links in there. To get the business plan, to get the digital business plan, to get that social audit, go to jaredjamestoday.com / download. That's all there for you. You're going to put in your info so we know where to send them over to, and that's free to you. You're also going to want to go to jaredjamestoday.com / 7 stages. That's going to give you those stages of development, you know, what that looks like. You're going to want to go to jaredjamestoday.com / 2020 offers. That's where you set up free consults. Let's get you set up for 2021. And then last but not least, for those of you that want to win that free transaction done by our transaction coordination department, you just got to go to the Instagram picture that I posted right before this. So either go to Instagram and look up @JaredJamesToday, which is what I am on everything, or go to connectwithjared.com. If you go to connectwithjared.com, all of my social profiles, my podcast, everything is there. Click on Instagram. You need to like that picture, leave a comment, letting me know that you were watching, and make sure you're following. And within the next 24 hours, we are going to pick a winner that, whether you're already a current transaction coordination client or you're not a TC client, we are going to do a free transaction for you. We're going to manage it from beginning to end. So that's going to be really good for a lot of you, okay? So with that being said, guys, let's get into questions on here. I'm going to start looking. Post your questions. I see people saying, Eddie, I see your thing here, man. Alex is an awesome coach. I think I'm about 30 seconds behind on you guys. Outside perspective, let me see here. Yep, these are key to growth, absolutely. When will you speak in Texas? Not soon enough, okay? I'm ready. Guys, I'm like a caged animal. I need live events right now. I have a CRM and use it daily. Can we customize the offer, such as TC and coach? I don't know what you mean. Like, you don't have to use our CRM, by the way. As a coaching student and as a marketing student, you get our CRM for free. But if you already have one you love and you're deep into it and you don't want to give it up, that's fine. You can keep using yours. That's absolutely fine. The advantage when you're a coaching student is that not only do you get our CRM for free, we also have a coaching dashboard in there where we can track your numbers, track your points, your coach, and you have access. There's a lot of things like that that are advantages, but you don't have to by any means. If you're using something and you love it, awesome. Hey, a lot of our brokerage-wide clients have a CRM they use as a brokerage, and they love it, and they're using it every day. And my message to them is, keep doing it. Awesome. We just give it as another option if you're not or you don't have one available to you, because you have to be using a CRM. It's not an option in our business, okay? It is an option, but it's a bad option, okay? Let me look and see what other questions I have here, guys. Guys, one more thing as I'm going into these. Do me a favor, if you've enjoyed this so far, again, hit that like button. Hit the share button. We want as many people as possible to be able to get the help they need for 2021 and get the free resources we're giving them for 2021. So hit that share button, guys. It costs you nothing, but it would mean the world to me. And if I've ever given you any content for free or anything you've enjoyed, that could be a nice way to say thank you. Hit that share button. Share it out to your colleagues and your friends. How soon can I get a coach and get started? Sarah, go to that jaredjamestoday.com/2020 offers. Fill out for a consult for a coach. We'll be in touch right away, and we'll get you going right away. So don't worry about that. Thank you, 41 years in the biz, and love the post-close tips and accountability to help when the motivation is not there. Also determining if the voices are where I am in my life. No doubt. And guys, I hope you really picked that up, that whole post-close thing. And I'm trying every time I say that not to say Post Malone for whatever reason, but post-close, that's crucial. For those of you that have followed me for years, how many times have I said that what separates me from so many people is that I'm not ideological about what it takes in this business? Whatever works is what I'm going to teach, right? That's why I'm on this right now. With all the disruptions and everything else going on in the industry right now, the thing that's going to win right now is going to be your database, your CRM, getting close to your customers, and understanding your post-close strategy. What does that look like? How do you capitalize on more of that lifetime value, that $117,000? And I'm literally in my head right now trying to think about, what do we start teaching on this? What are strategies we've never thought of? And we're going to be teaching them to our students to give them an advantage. Okay, so make sure you're in on that. Do you think having a second or multiple jobs while first starting out is distracting? Of course it is. When I first got my real estate license, for 6 months I sold nothing because I had another job, and it just became very difficult. And especially in a market we're in right now, even my friends and family that were using me didn't want to hear that I couldn't get them into a house, right away because I was at my other job, For some of you though, it's a necessity at first, It may not be ideal, but it's a necessity. What I would recommend would be, cut out things in your life, cut out eating out, cutting out all that entertainment stuff, save as much money as you can. And then when you first join, I'm a big proponent of joining a busy team that gives you leads early on. Don't worry about the percentage they're giving you. It's better than zero, right? And get on a busy team where you're dealing with clients from day one. That would be my recommendation to you, okay? When you coming back to Colorado Springs? Mike, I was just there. I love it there. I had such a blast with you guys, seriously, just to be around people and do a live event. Hope I wasn't rusty. But, man, it was so great. I can't wait to get back there. Talk to your peeps. I'm sure I'll be back there. TC, do they know each transaction's process since it's different in every state? Yeah, we do it all over the U.S., Canada, and beyond. What we do in our early in the early consults with you is we customize your workflow. So we talk to you about your specific workflow and what softwares you use and what the login credentials and all that stuff. We do it with people all over the place. So don't worry about you're not in this specific state, that state, whatever it is. We do that with people all over, and they love them, okay? You've seen it in the comments already with people being like, I love my TC. So what I tell people is the more info you give us up front, the more involved you are up front, the less you're going to have to be later on. So they're going to ask you a lot of questions in the beginning. They're going to customize that workflow with you. They're probably going to add a lot of things you're not doing now. That's one of the most common things that happens with people is they're like, I didn't even think to do that. Yeah, that's why we do it, right? You're too busy. So I would say get on a consult. It costs you nothing. And that was one of the greatest things we ever did was starting that department. It's such a game changer for people. And you hear it in the comments over and over again from people. So yeah, get on with them and they'll customize it to you. Does your CRM include email drip campaigns? Yes, Tom, personally built by me. That you can customize, okay, that have email, that have text, that have, all sorts of different ways included in them. So yes, it is included at the cost for it, okay? So make sure you jump on that. The CRM's a must, guys. Get on that. Jared's CRM is way better than all of them I have seen and used. Lexi, thank you so much. That's because Lexi wasn't with us in the first 3 to 6 months, okay? We always joke about this in the office, but if you're somebody who used our CRM in the first 3 to 6 months and it sucked and you jumped off of it, I apologize, but that was the fixing time. CRM rocks now. We're integrated directly with Facebook. We've got merging capabilities. We've got it's killing it now. Unfortunately, we had to go through what I call the screw-up stage in the first 3 to 6 months where we were figuring it out. So if you were with us back then and you were like, I just can't do this, please jump back on board, give it another shot, because it's awesome now, as you can hear from some of our current users, okay? So thank you, Lexi. Love you. Let me see here. There's so many comments coming in that I'm losing them sometimes. How do you deal with people that unsubscribe from emails? Sandy, I deal with more unsubscribes than anybody on here because our database is so massive. You don't deal with them at all. I mean, you don't send them emails, obviously. You can send them one-to-one emails. They can still get mailed out stuff. But it's also why it's such a great idea to have people's phone numbers too, and a CRM that gives you the ability to text them at scale as well, which we do as well, okay? So you can't keep mass emailing people who have unsubscribed. You can limit the number of people that unsubscribe by giving, great content and not just hitting them with stuff they don't care about, like the current mortgage rates. They can Google that, right? Giving them good content. Separating your CRM by different categories. So you're sending to sellers for something, buyers for some things, past clients, so they're not getting info they don't care about, but you don't mass email those people who have unsubscribed, but you also don't spend all day thinking about them. It happens, part of life. Focus on the 200 others you have that don't unsubscribe. God, there's so many coming in, guys. If I don't answer yours, just keep posting them. Are you doing any live events soon? Not enough. Most of my stuff has been pushed to 2021. So I've been doing a lot of virtual stuff. So I'll have something that'll come out. Make sure you're following on Instagram and these places. That's where I post like where I'm going to be speaking. I post it on my stories. So again, connectwithjared.com. Follow on all the platforms you see. I post things on different platforms, different things on different platforms. So you got to make sure you're following. Make sure, for those of you that are already following on those platforms like Instagram and these other places, go over to my thing, click the 3 dots, and turn on notifications so you'll know when I post something. Because a lot of you are like, I follow, but I don't see your stuff. That's just the algorithm. You got to turn on notifications. That's the easiest way to know when I'm speaking and stuff. Thank you, Jared. I'm a new agent. I needed the help. Jana, anytime. And by the way, guys, especially new agents like that, you can DM me at any time too. Direct message me on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. What else am I on? Snapchat. I'm on everything. Like, if you have questions, send them over. I'll answer them. I batch it throughout the day, and I answer every single person. So post-close is where it's at. Love the ideas. Mangus, what's up, man? Well done, JJ. Happy belated birthday. Will this video be on your Facebook page after? It should, guys. As long as technology works, it should be here after. Absolutely. One more time, guys, as I'm answering these. If you heard anything you like, hit like and hit that share button. Let's get this out to as many people as we possibly can. Where's the business plan? If someone can reply here, it's jaredjamestoday.com/download. So you know our website, jaredjamestoday.com, jaredjamestoday.com/download. That's where it's going to be at. As always, thanks for all of the information. How do I get a coaching consult? My team is in here that will apply to you. But again, if you go to jaredjamestoday.com/2020 offers, OFFERS, so the year 2020 offers, jaredjamestoday.com/2020 offers. It's all on that page. Coaching, CRM, marketing, TC, like whatever you need, it's on that page for you to fill out for a consult. Binger, what's up, my man? Great content. Thanks, Jared. What are 4, 5, and 6? Okay, so guys, number one, I think this is in there, but number one was get clear on your benchmarks that matter, okay? Number two was have a plan for post-transaction. Number three was have a plan for consistent marketing. Number four was get serious about your inner circle. Number five was build more capacity to get more done. Number six, limit the voices you're listening to. Okay, and this is recorded, guys, so you guys can go back, and if you're watching this on the replay, you can hit pause. Number seven, make your hobby your career. Okay, that's about infrastructure. Number eight was get a coach. You need a coach, guys. Like, I can't stress that enough, okay? Awesome, guys. Let me just, I'm going to lose some of these guys. I'm sorry, but there's just so many coming in. How do we calculate the cost of acquiring leads? Well, it's much easier when you have a CRM, okay? Because when you have a CRM, for example, for those that are using our marketing department and they are using our CRM because it's included for free, you can look at what you're paying our marketing rep and what you're paying to pay, for the actual monthly spend for your marketing, right? And when the leads come in, they automatically source according to where they're coming from. So we are able to do reports on our CRM so we can look up according to each source, where did they come in from? So if you spend $700 with our marketing department, let's say you spend, $350 with our rep, and then you spend another $350 on, to actually create leads, and you spent $700. But you see that there were 57 leads that came in with the sources that we use. Well, you take those 57, right? And you start looking at closing, because on our CRM, it has pipeline stages. And so you're going to see how many of them were moved over to closed. It'll actually show you that in the report. And so you're able to look up, okay, I spent $700. I created 57 leads, and out of those 57, I closed 4 of them. Those 4 are worth $28,000 to me. So I spent $700 and I made $28,000, right? You can do it just by looking at the reports within our CRM. And if you end up signing up for coaching or marketing or any of those things, they'll walk you through how to do that. But that's how you can look at what the return is on your investment. And I don't know about you guys, but that's a slot machine I would never stop playing, okay, if I had those kind of returns. What do you suggest for cold calling? I recommend, like, one of the most effective forms is to call around neighborhoods where listings have come on, whether they're yours or not, and you're able to just call the neighborhood and say, hey, your neighbor's property just came up over at blank, wanted to see if you wanted more information about it. And they're usually like, yeah, I absolutely do, whatever. Hey, and then at some point in the conversation, you're going to say, hey, not sure if you're aware, but their property being listed may have changed the value of yours. Would you like to know how it's changed, right? You're trying to see if they want to sell, right? That's one way that you can go about it. Another way you can go about it is when you show buyers a property in a neighborhood or a listing is just up in a neighborhood, you can actually call that neighborhood and leverage your buyers and be like, hey, showed your neighbor's property over at blank. Unfortunately, it wasn't the perfect match for them, but as I'm sure you're not surprised, they absolutely love the neighborhood. What they're looking for is blank, and you describe just about every house in that neighborhood. Hey, if you or anyone you know is even considering selling right now, could you let me know right away? I may be able to sell their house without it ever even hitting the market, because I've got buyers that are looking. That's the kind of language you want to be using, okay? A lot of those scripts and everything too, they're in our coaching program, and some of them are actually in the files in our coaching group. If you go to Jared James Coaching, the group on Facebook, if you go to files, there's a lot of free stuff there for you guys, okay? You guys should all take advantage of it. Thanks for answering my question. Aaron, anytime, like I said, you can DM me on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or whatever when we're not on this. If you have good questions, send them over. I'll answer them. If they're like generic questions like what time does your office open, email my office. But Patricia, what's going on, girl? Did you have your baby yet? I saw that you were pregnant. Awesome content as always. I hope you're well. I love seeing people here that I've seen for years. Wonderful info. You hit home with me on many levels. Thank you for this today. I'm going to log in for the consult. Awesome. And guys, don't wait on that. If you know you need marketing, coaching, CRM, TC, go do it now. Take advantage of your own emotion. If you're on that page and it breaks, sometimes that happens when we do these because it's at such scale. Just keep refreshing. Sometimes when there's too many people that go at once, it's just what happens. So it's a good problem. Mindy, thanks for answering my question. No problem. Do you have bilingual TC Spanish? Yes, we do. Get in on that before she's filled up. Okay, so I think it's Denise. Get in on that right away. We have bilingual TCs. We have even within like the templates we use and the stuff that we send back and forth between clients and other stuff. We have it written in Spanish as well as English. So yes, we do have bilingual TCs. Great info as always. How much is the TC? Janet, a transaction coordinator, if you do listing to contract, but they'll go over this with you, like for them to put the listing on for you and do all of the stuff that's involved with that is $150. Contract to close, meaning once something goes under contract and we bring it all the way through to closing and we follow those 63 steps that we follow, is $350. Again, only paid if you close. If you don't close, you don't pay anything. If it falls apart, they have an incentive to make it close. So there's no risk to you. It's only if it closes, and it allows you to focus on the things that ultimately matter and that you need to be focused on, okay? And again, if you do all the way from listing to contract, it's a cheaper price. If you have dual agency, it's a cheaper price. If you're doing bulk over 50 transactions, it's a cheaper price. Let them talk to you about that, though. 39 years in the biz and going strong. First met you a few years ago. You were speaking at our Texas State Conference in San Antonio. Congrats on your success. Greg, thanks so much, man. It's crazy how much we've grown, but I promise you I'm still the same dude, so hopefully we get to say hello at some point, have a beer or something. Thank you. On average, how much is a TC? I just answered that, so do a consult with you, and they'll go over all of it. I'm sure you hear this a lot. But you have no idea how inspiring you are. Truly enjoy your message. That's cool, because half the time I think that people are hating me because I'm a little rough or a little direct. So thank you for that. I've used Market Leader, KV Core, Zap, on and on. You love the Georgia Media CRM. That's awesome. Love you. What's the link to the business plan? jaredjamestoday.com/download. So it's on our site and then just /download. It's all there. Yep. Can I easily merge from Wise Agent to your CRM? Absolutely. In fact, we have a CS department, a client success department that'll actually give you a hand with that if you're not sure what to do, but it's very easy for us to take it over and map it right in. Can we test run the CRM? I believe we do have a trial. It's like a $1 trial. If you go to our website, georgiamedia.com/CRM, I think there's a $1 trial you can try out. Absolutely. And we'll set up a demo with you, run you through it, show you how it works. Coaching call, like you just get on for a consult as far as the coaching calls goes. What's the name of your CRM? It's Georgia Media, Jarja Media, Georgia Media CRM. Guys, there's so many things in here. I'm trying to get to the actual, yes, should I get with Red to see if I need to update my CRM? I've been a member for about 6 months. Not with Red. Email support@georgiamedia.com. If you're already a client, they'll sit down with you, and get on a video call and walk you through what you need to do to get fully set up, okay? Great energy. You are the best. No, you guys are the best. I wish I could feel some energy, but it's just talking to a camera. Do you guys like this format? Like where instead of doing my webcam, I'm looking at a real camera. Do you guys like the look and feel of this better? If you like that, hit the like button. Let me know if this works for you, or if you prefer it's just the webcam. Thanks, Jared. Great info, motivating. I'm trying to get some questions, guys. I'm having trouble printing the business plan. Is anyone else having trouble? Tried to immediately print and tried printing. I haven't heard of anybody else, Eddie, but email our office. We'll just send it back to you. You've been a long time. You're awesome. We'll take care of you. Always time well spent. To get sick of repeating it. You're so patient with us. It's a great problem to have, quite frankly. Like, you have so many people on, that you have to do that. So just when I want to get sick of it, I remember just how freaking lucky I am. I've been coached by BB and TF, Brian Buffini and Tom Ferry. The info you presented here is very intriguing. I'm interested. Cassandra, do a consult. I mean, I think it's what really separates us. We're about now. We're not about what we were married to 20 years ago or what we were. We're about what's working right now. So do a consult. It doesn't cost you anything. If this doesn't record, blame Facebook. I'm just the button pusher. Number 6, I need to work on this. I pray I see you in Vegas in March 2021. Melissa, me too. Which event are you talking about? Because there's a lot of them in Vegas, so let's hope. Is there a place we can go to get information on your Facebook marketing? Yeah, it's just marketing overall. But again, if you go to that jaredjamestoday.com/2020 offers, or if you just want to go to jarjamedia.com, you can see what we do from a marketing perspective. Absolutely. And guys, I can't explain. They're killing it right now. Like I had a meeting with our marketing manager the other day, and he's like, "You need to get us more marketing clients right now because we are killing it. Like we need to take advantage of this while it's working so well. Facebook's changed their algorithm and what works, and we need to work it." So, Jared, fantastic content as always. Have you shot a video on your streaming video equipment setup? I don't think I have. I don't even know what we use. We use like a Sony. What's it called? Like what's it like a camcorder of some sort. We use, what is this? ATEM something? The Blackmagic ATEM Mini. It's what we use when you saw him switching between slides and what we were doing. And is that what also hooks into here and allows me to use the camera rather than using my webcam? Yeah, maybe we'll do that at some point. As you can tell, I'm probably not the one to do it. What was the link for marketing with the CRM included? Yeah, if you sign up for marketing, the CRM's automatically included. It's just included for our marketing clients. So, yeah. I see, Alex, you responded to Eddie. Eddie's a new coaching client. We'll go over it on our next call. So, yeah, if you're on here and you have a coach with us, this is what you need to be covering on your next call. Thank you, Jared. Coaching is worth every penny. Killed my 2020 goals this year and still working on my 7. That's awesome, Brenda. That just made my day. That's so cool. Coaching student, obviously. Making dress down on video look good today. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, God, so cool. Always love your content. Oh, the REMAX convention. I'd love to be back at the REMAX convention. You know that. I was actually just with Nick this past weekend, the guy that runs REMAX. I'm fired up after your videos. Your motivation's amazing. We'll have to check out your coaching. Absolutely. Everything posting about having amazing results with your team. That's awesome. Sorry if I missed, but are your TCs licensed agents? No, they don't need to be because we work with people all over the place. As not being a licensed agent in your state, they just can't do things like negotiate contracts, and they can't cover the contracts with your clients. That's your job, but they shouldn't be doing that anyway. But they know exactly what they're allowed and not allowed to do, and it's never an issue. They know what they're not allowed to discuss. How many transactions does one TC handle? It depends. On average, though, our TCs can handle anywhere between 250 and 450 transactions a year because we have it broken down so much and it's all they do. But every TC is different, okay? We have some larger clients that we have to put a couple TCs on, and that's completely fine. But, you know, it depends. Everyone's different. Just like they have different capabilities. They have different skill sets. Better than webcam. You like this format? I like this format. Awesome. I just started using LionDesk CRM. How does yours stand out? Didn't we find all sorts of, I don't want to say this publicly, but we found all sorts of issues and the support was not fantastic. Go check ours out. That's what I'll tell you. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm sure they do a fine job. We do have a lot of people that switch over to us from them. So I would just tell you, go do a trial or sign up for a month and just check it out. It'd be worth your time. Or do a demo with us. It'll be worth your time. Jared, come to London, Ontario. You know what? I got so many people there. Like, I got to be there soon. Once we're traveling again. I already do a lot in Toronto and otherwise, but what's up, Nathan? One of our coaches, by the way. But by the way, guys, we're also looking for coaches. Like, you know, one of the things about our program is that we probably don't hire 99% of the people that apply, because when you run a coaching company, it seems like all that applies are like life coaches who aren't doing very well at life and need money. We will not hire that person. You've got to be active in real estate. You've got to know our stuff. We train you. But we do need more coaches too. So if you go on our site, jaredjamestoday.com, and hover over coaching, one of the tabs says apply to be a coach. That's another thing that we also need right now too. because we're growing so good, and I won't grow past a certain point without great coaches. I'm not going to assign people to crappy coaches. It's just not going to happen. You like the live cast better. Jared, this advance was amazing and truly life-changing for me. Today was my first one-on-one coaching with Max. Awesome. It was amazing and so many aha moments. I can't wait to see what happens next. That's awesome. I'm so glad you got assigned to Max, too. You need to listen to that guy. Like, he knows what he's doing. Max is one of our coaches, for anybody who's wondering. Love the content. Yay to Vegas. What's the best way to start a conversation with a stranger about real estate? It's really just start a conversation. Once you ask them what they do for a living, they'll ask you what you do for a living, and then they inevitably love talking about real estate. I'm a first-time viewer. You're super authentic and real. Suzanne, appreciate that. Make sure you follow on the other platforms. Again, connectwithjared.com. Follow on Instagram and all these other platforms. Put out a ton of content that I think will be helpful to you. On YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and join our group, our Facebook group. It's a great place to mastermind and share referrals and ideas and do everything but spam people. Okay. Let me see what else I have here. I'm so overwhelmed by the voices. Thank you for the permission to let go. Yes, I like this format. So Anthony, one of our marketing people, just said, we just completed an ad for a client, 93 full leads in 5 days for $50, 57 cents a lead. If you need that in your business, go sign up for marketing right now. Like, they just did 5 days, 93 leads for $50, 57 cents a lead. Like, guys, they're killing it right now. Just meeting with my new coach, Betsy, tomorrow. So excited. Maggie, Betsy is awesome. I'm so excited. She came on this last year as a coach with us, and she's amazing. You're going to love her. Listen to what she says. So that's awesome, Maggie. Welcome to the program, too. I'm so glad you're a new student. Jared, have you ever used the steps? Have you ever shared the steps used for contract to close? Only in the consult, they'll go over it with you. I don't share them publicly to everybody, but if you do a consult, they do share them with you, and then they customize them to your particular business. I love this format. Is marketing and CRM included with coaching or separate? The CRM, Don, is included with coaching, but marketing is separate. So we include the CRM with marketing, and we include it with coaching. If you have either one of those, you have the CRM. If you're not using the CRM right now, reach out and we will get you set up. But it's included with both. But marketing is separate from coaching. Are you posting this video later on your site? No, it'll just be right here. It's Facebook Live, so it'll just replay here. Can you repeat who we need to talk to regarding whether I need to update my CRM? Just reach out to support@jarjamedia.com. Support@jarjamedia.com, or just call our office and they'll take care of you. Actually, Tom already responded here, so you're good. Lion Desk is not worth it in my, okay, I don't want to. What does having a transaction coordinator look like? The process they do. It looks like heaven, okay? Do a consult with them. It doesn't cost you anything. Like, literally just go do a consult. All of the behind the scenes, the updating of your clients, making sure that all the files are where they need to be, making sure the MLS is updated like it needs to, making sure everybody in the process has everything they need all along, and making sure it runs smoothly. It makes you look amazing to your clients because it's like you have this team member who's handling everything, and it elevates you. Go do a consult. I promise you, you won't regret it, okay? Thank you so much, Jared. Janet, thank you. I'm sure we'll be talking throughout. Run, don't use Lion Desk. Have you added a, what is this? Have you added a tracking? Have you added a tracking for potential pending close to your CRM? Yes, Vicky, we absolutely have that. Are you coming to Vegas soon? Not soon enough. I don't have anything on the books, or do I? Maybe in 2021, I have to look. Message me that kind of stuff on like Instagram and stuff, because I'll look up specifically. I don't know right now. How do you compare with Sync and Lion Desk? Well, Sync and Lion Desk are two different things. Sync offers the website as well. And if you noticed, we're about to offer websites, like we're right there, but we've been holding off a long time. Because of what we went through in the first 3 to 6 months when we released the CRM, I will not go through that again. So I am not releasing the websites attached to our CRM until it is 100% no doubt ready to go, because I will not have a crap show again for 3 to 6 months. Can you repeat which post on IG and what to do? Okay, so on Instagram, guys, I posted this. Let me just pull it up here. I posted this on Instagram. It was just me with a little hang loose, getting ready to get going. It's my last post on Instagram. You need to like that post, comment below, like where you're coming in from or whatever you want to comment. Make sure you're following on Instagram, and within 24 hours, we're going to pick a winner to get a free transaction through our transaction coordination department. So great. Make sure you go do that. Thank you, Jared, for your daily inspiration. Thank you, Jamal. I appreciate that, man. Wow, first time here, referred by a friend, new agent. Love your stuff. Antoinette, appreciate that. Seriously, I love having new people here. That's why I said, guys, hit that share button. Let's get this out to as many people as we can. If this was helpful to you, it's going to be helpful to someone else. So hit that share button and let's get this out. It doesn't cost you anything. Sometimes I only do what I need to do to get through the day. Jared and Kelly, that's your coach, have taught me what I need to do to get ahead of the day. Megan, I love that. Thank you. Megan's a coaching student and has Kelly as her coach. Got to go. Enjoy. Lexi, we'll see you. Is the TC done through the CRM? Our TCs use the CRM, but you're not aware of that. They use whatever you use, okay, for what you see. But as far as tracking stuff on our end, they use our CRM. But if you use something different or a different transaction coordination thing or whatever you use, dot loop, whatever, they're trained in all of them, and they will use on your side whatever you want. Can't find the business plan. Where is it? Again, jaredjamestoday.com/download. Okay. If you're familiar, how would you rate KV Core? KV Core does a great job, guys. We didn't build a CRM because we think all the other ones suck. I just want to control because as things change, I can go down the hall, talk to developers and say, change this. We need to do this different, So if you have one you love, there's no reason to leave. If you're not thrilled with yours or you're not using it or you're not using anything, jump on over to Jarja Media. Would you include the CRM with paid TC work? They're two different things. So that's not generally how it works. And the TC is not, the CRM is not expensive, guys. But as of right now, the CRM is included with marketing and it's included with coaching, not with TC work. Because TC work, the thing is that with coaching and with marketing, it's a guaranteed monthly revenue. With TC, we have no guaranteed monthly revenue. You could sign up with us and never use us. You could sign up with us and use us 9 times a month. You could sign up with us, use us once, and never use us again. So it's not a consistent flow, a guaranteed consistent flow. That's why I don't include it with that. Will your website be ADA compliant? Yes. Thank you. So helpful. Dana, how you doing? Can't wait to get back to you guys as well in 2021. We should schedule that. I feel like I don't know what all I can do with the CRM. Can I get a refresher, or is there a video of all the fun things we can do? There are so many options. I need to dial this in. Jordan, I think you're a brand new coaching student too. Yes, Jordan. If you go to help.jarjamedia.com, help.jarjamedia.com, it has all sorts of like, what do you call them? The videos, the help videos, the support videos. It shows you how to do things. But really, just reach out as well. They'll do a demo with you. They'll walk you through everything. So you can do it with a live person as well. It's completely up to you. Interesting talking points. I've been really enjoyed. All right, guys, we are on 90 minutes. So I'm going to go back and check all of these questions and get back to you all. There's a lot of them, but I'll say one more time. If you enjoyed this, if you got value out of this, hit that like button, leave a comment. But do me a favor, it's free. Hit the share button. If you got anything of value today, hit that share button, okay? One more time, to get the free business plan and the digital plan and the social audit in there, go to jaredjamestoday.com/download to take advantage of any of the things we offer. We work so hard to supply as much as possible, be a one-stop shop for you guys, and you want to take advantage of getting a coach, using the CRM, getting a TC, getting a marketing person to create the leads for you. Just go to jaredjamestoday.com/2020 offers. And last but not least, to take advantage of getting a free transaction done through our TC department from one of our professional transaction coordinators, go to Instagram. You can either go to connectwithjared.com, connectwithjared.com, click on Instagram, or just go on Instagram and search Jared James Today. I'm at Jared James Today. My last post on there, that is me getting ready to do this live with you. Like it, leave a comment, and make sure you're following on Instagram, and we are going to give away a free transaction done by one of our transaction coordinators. I love you guys. I'm glad you got so much value. If you did, again, hit that share button. I'm going to sign off here, guys. I'll check these throughout the day. Appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you also that are watching in your offices. I know a lot of you, it's not just one-to-one as far as when you see a view on here. I know a lot of you got together with your offices, your teams, and everything else. I appreciate the world out of you. I can't wait to see so many of you live in 2021. I'm booking my events out right now for the live events for 2021. I'll see you guys then. Stay in touch. Send me a question on Insta or wherever else you guys want to. I hope we get to be a small part in you absolutely dominating your 2021, building out your infrastructure, and running the business that you really want to run, okay? So truly love you guys. I'll see you soon.